This is for those of you who are learning English who say, I don't have imagination. There are so many problems with this sentence, so many problems with this idea. But let's just take it and think about imagination. What is imagination? Imagination is taking an image in your mind that does not exist in reality here. So when you read a book and the ideas in that book are not real in your life right now, so if you read about a lemon and there's no lemon that you can see, then you're imagining that lemon. So reading is using imagination. Also, even if you watch a film, you're still imagining it. You're still interacting with something that isn't real because you are connecting to that thing. Imagination is more than just saying, oh, I can perceive it in a large way. It's saying, I have it. So when I speak to you, my words that I'm saying mean something to you. That's using imagination. If I speak a foreign language, or if I use one of the birds or animal noises that they use, they mean something to them. They've shown that in the wild that, birds use certain tones and pitches to mean danger, safety, where things are. That is imagination, but I don't understand it. I don't know what that means. So we have to use imagination to even understand each other. So when you say you don't have imagination, that's doing two things. First, you're not acknowledging the truth that you do have it. Second, you're limiting what you do have, and you're saying, no, this isn't it, because you say you don't have it. Now, the truth is you do have imagination. Everybody does. So many people who say, I don't have imagination, because you say that, and because you're denying, you're refusing to believe you do have it. So the first step is to say, I do have imagination. But I don't think that's good enough, because if you're telling me I don't have it, then that means it's very strong within you to say it. Or maybe it's an excuse, maybe it's both. If it's an excuse, it's the same thing. It's a strong excuse. It's something strong enough where you've verbalized it. You've put it out, so you are telling someone else. That's pretty strong. That's not a weak thing. Now you're telling me you do not have imagination. First of all, that almost hurts me. I almost feel pain, because it's like, how can you refuse? How can you deny to blind yourself? How can you blind yourself to your own gifts, to your own potential, the potential you have in imagination? So that's just like a barrier there. But okay, let's say then that you say you do have imagination, but you don't know how to work with it. Because that's where most people are. They have imagination, they say they don't have it, but they're willing to work with it. At least the most people who tell me I don't have imagination. If you think you have imagination, that's a completely different subject. Okay, so now we're willing to say you have imagination, but we're also willing to say, I don't know how to work with it. So here are some tips. Here are some things that can help you work with, understand, and grab your own imagination so you can use it in your life. The first thing I want you to do is, when you have an idea, I want you to sit with that idea. Don't move away from it. Just sit with it. Sit with the idea. Stay with it just a little bit, because that staying, that remaining, will help the imagination grow. It'll become more vivid. Let's take the example of a lemon. There's a lemon on the table, and you just sit with that idea of a lemon. That's all. Now, as you're sitting with this idea of the lemon, you can start to smell it. So it's not just the imagination of the sight, it's also, you can smell it, and maybe you could even almost taste it. You can feel the lemon space in, you could almost feel its space. You could touch it and feel how it feels. I mean, is it a little bumpy? Is it a big lemon? Is it soft? What texture does it have? So we can incorporate our senses into that if we stay with it. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to use your imagination. So don't just stay with something, use it, put it into practice. So when there is something you can do, don't leave it at that one point. Pull it further and pull it further and further. Keep using your imagination because that makes it stronger. If you use it, if you engage in it. So when you see something, you think of different ways you can do that. And then this is what I call like flexing your imagination. So see how far you can take something. Don't just put it at this thing. Okay, we've got a lemon on there. Let's flex it. Let's make it absurd, make it silly, make it crazy, make it funny. You've got a lemon on the table, and what if the lemon is so big it just breaks the table? I mean, it's just a massive, huge lemon. Or what if it's so small that you almost can't see it, but at the same time has such a powerful lemon scent? You're like, wow. I mean, it almost, you're like, you start dripping and it's like sour in your mouth because of the scent itself. That's what I'm talking about. Make things, flex your imagination there and play with it. As I said, make it absurd. So what if it's a talking lemon? Things like this. When you do this, you'll find you can push it, but you have to work it. It doesn't just come on its own. All right, those are the ideas for basically imagination. First of all, you have an imagination. Stay with your imagination. Use it. Flex it. Play with it. Give it space to grow because then it'll become real. Thank you for listening here. I hope that you start engaging your imagination in the language learning process because that will make it so much faster, so much funner, and so much more enjoyable. And please work on this. So thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.